So, would you like to know the difference between a platform speaker and a virtual speaker and how you can get yourself into the world of being a virtual speaker? Well, make sure you stick around for this. It will blow your mind. Got some incredible content, tips, tools, and techniques coming your way.
So, Dave, I think it's just very interesting how the world is turning right now with everybody becoming a virtual speaker. Now, the question that we have to figure out is who is already doing it and what are they doing? So let's just see an example from speaker Eric Termund in how he's already implementing virtual speaking. Have a look.
And while we're not on stages like this, here we are in the studio, and I can't wait to show you what we built. Hi everyone, and welcome to the studio. My name is Eric Termundi, co-founder of Now of Work and author of Rethink Work. I've spent the better part of the last decade surveying thousands of individuals, interviewing hundreds of people, and speaking on stages all over the world to truly understand what makes great organizations great and how we can create tomorrow's greatest places to work. Over the past weeks and months, we've been mastering new technology to bring the perfect format and presentation to your audience. Now, whether it's just us or otherwise, we can bring slides like this, or this, even this, into the presentation. But we don't need them necessarily. We could bring graphics and animations into the presentation as well. If we don't want that and we want to show a video, hey, check this out.
The question is, how do democracies respond to those scandals?
And what will it mean for the wider region? I think one of your children has just walked in.
But we don't necessarily need that either. The one thing I will promise you, though, is that you won't get an experience like this.
Hello? Can you hear me?
We've got a whole bunch of different angles that we can try. We can bring PowerPoint presentations in and have interactive storytelling come in and take place, or we can run an interactive Q&A with the audience so that we can create what tomorrow's greatest places of work look like. There are no playbooks for the future of work. There are no best practices just yet. It's us that gets to create them, because we can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow, but what we can do is to control the reality that we've got now and to create a more intentional future together. My name is Eric Termundi, and I can't wait to work with you soon.
I'd tell you what, the thing was so fascinating was how he turned his living room into an interactive studio using post-production techniques. So the things that buzzed in and buzzed out, he added them afterwards. And so if somebody wanted to have something dedicated to their company, he could easily put it together, but then get stuff to bounce around. Now that's always been there. It's always been something you could have had. But now, when you start playing with it, the opportunities are massive to create something that's really tailor-made, interactive, and ahead of the game.
I have another video which I think is going to be resonating with us, Dave, very much, from another speaker, which was also a broadcaster with the BBC. And what is she doing right now?
We've all had to find new ways of doing things. My job is TV, and the virus forced me from the BBC studio into my basement. The venue changed, but the reporting didn't.
Mayor, thank you for joining us. You had some pretty hard words for the president over the weekend, asking if the White House just wanted New York to drop dead.
It's all about using the technology we have to communicate effectively to my TV viewers and to your audiences. I've realized that all those years I've spent as a television anchor, in a way, have brought me to this moment. I've had lots of experience sitting in studios, interviewing people virtually. And if you can't have them in the room with you, you still have to be able to reach through a television lens or a computer lens and speak to them and get your message across. It's a format I'm comfortable with.
So that's an interesting take. I mean, we have been using now broadcasting. You can see that now broadcasters are also doing the exact same. And let me see, we just lost Dave. So anyway, I will just continue here. So now you see, this is another take. Now, this is another one that I think you're going to find incredibly interesting, because this is one of my favorite speakers, and the approach that he has been using to support himself as a virtual speaker, it's very interesting. Have a look.
Connection is the key to significant leadership. Now more than ever, we need good leaders that have the ability to connect. Hey everybody, what's up? We are live. My name is Clint Pulver. Thank you for joining me today in the studio for a virtual keynote. Welcome to the virtual studio, where we do virtual keynotes, workshops, coaching, and one-on-one consultation. We provided the highest production quality available through stage lighting, multiple camera angles. We've even got the drum set live mic'd up to create the on-stage experience that's engaging, entertaining, and leaves your people inspired. This is not your typical Zoom meeting or another webinar. We've created the ultimate virtual experience that's engaging, entertaining, and full of content that leaves your people inspired. Just because it's virtual doesn't mean it needs to lack in quality. Now more than ever, we need good leaders that have the ability to advocate as much as they develop. We need stronger teams that look out for each other, that understand the power of collaboration and innovation during times of uncertainty. If the virtual platform is something you're considering for your next event or team meeting, please let us know how we can help. I promise what we've created here will leave your people energized, uplifted, and inspired to be better for each other, your company, and the world.
Very good. Interesting to see how so many different speakers use the stuff I would normally use on a stage show and turn it into a studio show so they can reach more people, but they alter the base elements that they have to be able to reach more people like that. Very interesting.
So the question is, if you're a speaker, if you're an expert, if you're an author, what are you doing to get on the virtual world? Please leave us some comments, as we will really like to know. And let's move on to our next speaker, which for me, I think it's the one that resonates the most with me. He is doing something that is called the cinematic virtual keynotes. And his name is Brett Culp. Have a look.
As more of our events move onto virtual platforms, it's harder than ever to capture and hold the attention of your attendees. As a documentary filmmaker, I've spent my career creating powerful cinematic experiences for audiences in movie theaters and in their homes on Netflix and Hulu. As a speaker, I've presented keynotes at hundreds of live events, inspiring leadership and hope. Now, I'm creating something new. The cinematic virtual keynote. Come on, let's go on an adventure. If you're planning an online event, your speaker can be more than a Zoom call with a webcam. Your event can be more than countless talking heads in digital boxes. It can be an engaging multimedia experience. It can be a live show.
I want you to meet my friend Super Ewan, who has made a powerful impact in his community.
Hello everyone, I'm Ewan and I'm 9 years old.
With my filmmaking team here in our studio, we're producing memorable, imaginative presentations filled with uplifting stories, empowering insights, dynamic imagery, and humor. We're designing virtual keynotes optimized for the online experience, focused on leadership, embracing change, and building the heroic spirit in your culture.
Sometimes the fight is your friend. Sometimes the very thing that you feel like is breaking you apart is actually revealing the best in you.
Attendees can interact and ask questions in real time, with the moderation and my replies seamlessly incorporated into the presentation.
Real leadership is inviting people on a mission to do something extraordinary together.
The technology is cutting edge, but the goal is the same as if I was with you in person. To create that personal connection of one human, one heart, speaking to another.
Even in times of change and uncertainty, your work matters. Your life matters. And we need you in the world.
If you're considering an online event, we'd love to talk with you about creating a uniquely inspiring virtual keynote for your audience?
Well, I think that it really depends on what kind of speaker you are. I mean, this guy is excellent at doing a 3 to 4 minute live integrated stock footage plus poetry level performance. So what he's doing is recreating that in his own venue live for you. And so with computer graphics, with the ability to put speaking text over it, it will be a live interactive session. Now, I don't know many people that actually produce something like that live. Most people would do a keynote speech, tell a story, use PowerPoint, maybe use slides, do some games with the audience. So I think that what he does is a really good version of what he already does. And we should all look at it and say, well, how could we use some tips, some techniques to improve our own personal game? But not every speaker will want to do it the same way as him. But what I love from all the speakers that have been shown on today's episode is the range of interaction and adaptation that people have made to deal with being locked in and not being able to reach an audience live in an auditorium anymore.
We have been doing a lot of work with our customers on video and this kind of thing, and I think now more than ever, having a proper sizzle reel, having a proper media reel, having a proper casting reel, it's incredibly important. So I think it might be interesting to see, for you guys to see what Dave and I have done for some of our customers. We were watching an interview with Frank, and he was just basically telling us that because of these little videos and these little clips that he has been creating, he has been able to get several virtual keynote presentations.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you really enjoyed it, then make sure you watch one of these 2 videos afterwards. And Ernesto, why are you staring up the top of my head?
Dave, your hair is actually thinning out.
Well, if it is, it's about the only thing getting thin on this show.
Here on this side, we have some more amazing videos for you to watch.